What's up, Rasmanites? Apologies in advance if you hear any background noise. Little Caden is here, and also it is thundering and raining like cats and dogs. I'm stuck in flood level here in Dayton today. I don't think I've been out in rain like this in years, but yes, I actually am finally healthy enough to go out again. So what was the first thing I did? Come on. Do you have to ask? Man of Steel movie review today on the Razman's Reality. Alrighty, so wow, that was absolute torture, going in to surgery right as that film was coming out, waiting almost 5 or 6 weeks. What has it been? 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that since the film opened up. I mean, you could tell, because even though it was 4th of July weekend, there was about maybe 10 people in my showing, so you could tell that the movie had been out a while. I mean, they literally only had 2 IMAX 3D showings of the film, the 12:30 in the afternoon one that I went to, and then a 9 p.m. one. So you could tell that it was on South Lake, but man alive, what a film. Let me tell you what, Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan, we all knew it when it was announced. That is a dangerous, dangerous combination. Oh, and the darker tone, if the video looks dark, it's also because of the rain, there's like no sunlight, so it's all my indoor lighting, so things tend to look darker then. But yeah, this thing was just insane. I mean, first of all, I can't even go through all the cast, because there were so many freaking names in this film that I'm just going to have to put the IMDb link down below. If you have not seen this film, which, by the way, if you have not seen this film, stop this right here, because this will have spoilers. I got so much to say about this film. Can't hold myself back, and there's Caden right there. Told you. But, yeah, I'm going to have to put the IMDb link down below in the description box, because I know I'm going to forget to name somebody, but freaking Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent. You had Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I know some people are like, a redhead Lois Lane, but come on, it's Amy Adams. And just like every film she's ever done, she was absolutely perfect. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours and hours about this film, but of course the main question is, gosh, my brain's farting, so overlay to the rescue, but does the lead actor outdo Brandon Routh as Superman? Is he the best Superman we have seen since the late great Christopher Reeve, who I'll talk more about in a second, for a very specific reason? For those of you who may not have such keen eyes as myself, you may have missed something in Man of Steel, but yes, the answer is yes. He absolutely is the best Superman on the big screen since the late great Christopher Reeve. And the way they did this film was just so reminiscent of Batman Begins, but it was like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight all in one, because you had the flashback, of Clark / Kal-El growing up, and you saw everything that happened to him that led up to his battle with Zod, but it was very, very well paced in the sense that it started out as flashback, then it went to modern, and then it went to flashback, then it went to modern. So it was all like that for the entire 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it really made the film just absolutely fly by. They put the origin stuff where it needed to be put, and they made this epic battle between Zod and Superman make sense. And that's why I never understood why people were complaining about why Zod was the first villain. I think people who are complaining why Zod was the first villain are people that think Lex Luthor is the only Superman villain, because he's not. Because Lex Luthor has been in every Superman film pretty much that we've ever seen, and he is going to be in another one, because there was a point in the film at the very end during the final epic battle where Zod throws a semi-truck, and the semi-trucks have Luthor Corp on it. So, you know he's coming. So, all you Lex Luthor freaks, fear not, he's coming. But, yeah, I think those people who said that about Zod, they're like, they only know about Lex Luthor or maybe even Brainiac as Superman villains. But the problem with Brainiac as the first film, or first villain, is it wouldn't have made sense. Because in this film, you knew it was an origin film, you knew it was the start of a new franchise, so Kal-El is still learning his powers. He's still learning what it means to be Superman, and it makes much more sense for the threat to come from his home. Because here is this guy who is a fellow Kryptonian who is so determined that saving Krypton is the right thing to do that he's ready to wipe out planet Earth completely. And Clark grew up as an Earthling. The human race is the only race he's ever known. So for him, he's like, how can Kal-El, how can Krypton be more important than my life as Clark Kent? And that's exactly what Jor-El and Laura wanted as his mother and father, because they knew, as a line in the film says, that he could be a bridge between two worlds. And they literally meant that literally, because there's this thing called a codex, and I'm not sure if that was ever a term mentioned in Superman comics. If it is, I apologize, because there's a lot of Superman's been done a lot over the years, and I haven't read it nearly as much Superman as I've read Batman and Spider-Man and Iron Man. So I apologize if I'm sounding like an idiot here, but the word codex kind of bothered me a little bit, because when you hear the word codex, you think, oh, it's a computer error. It's like MP4, MOV, WMV. It's a video error. That's what you think about. So I thought that was a very lazy terminology for the main focal point that Zod was after. This codex thing basically is all of the predetermined Kryptonian souls in one place to be preserved, to be put on another planet. So what's Jor-El do? He steals the codex in the very beginning of the film, and that's another thing that made this film so different than any other Superman film. Is it wasn't just Kal-El being put in his spaceship and sent off to Earth, like every other origin story you've ever seen, whether it's on television, whether it's in the comics, whether it's in movie form. The only thing you ever see is Kal-El is put in a spaceship, and that's where the story begins. But this one actually showed that the leading up to the destruction of Krypton, and it showed why Zod ended up becoming the corrupt soldier that he is, because he and Jor-El both, in their own way, trying to warn the Kryptonian High Council. They're like, hey, all you're doing here is destroying our planet. So you're condemning us to a black hole for all eternity. I mean, come on, let's go to another planet. Let's do something here. But they wouldn't stop. They're like, our resources are too depleted. This is all we can do. And so they actually showed how Krypton fell. So that was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that. For somebody that hadn't read any comics at all, that would be a beautiful touch to the film. Reminded me a lot of Thor. That was my favorite aspect of Thor, the Marvel film, was that even though Thor is the weakest of all of the solo Avengers films, Thor showed Isengard and showed where Thor came from, so that there was more of a background story told. So I really enjoyed all of this aspects of this film, and I gotta tell you, the battle between Superman and Zod, my god, was that intense. And the way they did the flying in this film, oh my goodness. I mean, Superman was like a 2-ton superpowered Lear jet, the way he flew, and I got to see it in IMAX 3D, so the sound was literally just like ear-shattering every time he took off and flew in your face. It was just an absolutely amazing thrill ride, and I've gone on for almost 20 minutes here and barely even scratched the surface. So needless to say, this is going to have a Blu-ray review as well, because I'm going to have a lot more to say about the film after I digest it some, because that's usually what happens with a film like this. You see it once and then you have to let it digest and take in everything you saw, and then you go back a second time and see it and you pick up on everything you missed. But the other big thing, before I get out of here, the other big thing I want to talk about is Lois's origin story and how it was slightly different than any other Lois origin story I've seen. She actually didn't know who Kal-El was, who Clark was. She knew him as a mythical guy, and she saw him for the first time when she was in, I want to say it was the Arctic where they had it, or maybe it was Alaska. Somewhere is where they found the Fortress of Solitude, like the U.S. military found the Fortress of Solitude, and Lois was just there to investigate the Fortress of Solitude as an anomaly. And she saw Clark there for the first time, and Clark actually saves her life because she's hemorrhaging internally, so he uses his X-ray vision to heal her. And that is how their whole relationship started, and he actually becomes a reporter for the Daily Planet at the end because of his love for Lois, and because he realizes that, hey, I need a job where I can keep my nose to the ground if I'm going to keep this planet safe. So yeah, I just thought everything about this film absolutely worked. Is it Superman through and through? No. But was Smallville Superman through and through? No. And I like Smallville. And I think that the problem with all superhero films, and I think this is probably the same thing I'm going to say with Iron Man 3, because I'm going to have to do just a straight Blu-ray review for Iron Man 3 because of my surgery. I missed the opportunity to see that one in the cinema. So I'm probably going to end up saying the same thing about Iron Man 3, because everybody says, oh, Iron Man 3 is the worst Iron Man of them all. And I think the problem with comic book films now is the Dark Knight trilogy, and to an extent the original Spider-Man trilogy, and to an extent the Amazing Spider-Man, which I thought was better in a lot of aspects than the original trilogy, at least the third one. Maybe not, maybe just on par with the first two. But the problem is all these great, and then you could even throw the first two X-Men and X-Men First Class in there. The problem is with all these great superhero, and I didn't even touch the Avengers line. So, and I'm jumping all over the place because I'm remembering other examples of what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say, and you all know where I'm going right now, is the problem is all these great comic book films have set this bar way up here. Like, a comic book film isn't just a niche market anymore. It's great storytelling and great filmmaking. So when the bar is all the way up here, the fanboys, because they expect it to be fanboys and girls, sorry, I'm not trying to discriminate, because they expect it to be word for word from the comic page what they know and what what they love, it puts it down here for them, and they're just way too critical of the film. Because this was the best Superman film ever. I'm gonna go back probably, unless you guys say you don't want it, in the comments. Like, let me know down below in the comments. I know I've promised a lot of other reviews I gotta get to, but this inspired me. I've had that triple threat Blu-ray since Christmas of Superman the movie, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and Superman Returns. So I'm probably gonna go back and watch all three of those and do like a Superman week here, even though this will be uploaded on Sunday. But Sunday, even though people call it the weekend, Sunday technically starts the week on some calendars. So yeah, let me know if that's something you guys want. It's like a Superman week and a half, because you guys know how I do it. I do videos every 2 days or so, and then I gotta do midweek chat, because midweek chat got uploaded late this week, or I saw the email late this week or something. So I gotta do midweek chat on Tuesday. Actually, you know what? Because I jumped in late, what I'll do is I'll wait till next week's midweek chat and I'll do 2 in 1, because that'll make it easier on me. So yeah, let me know in the comment box down below if you want the Superman week and a half before I move on to Willow and Total Recall 2013 and some of the other stuff that is on the dark, you know, finishing Dollhouse, all of that. But yeah, bottom line, Man of Steel, absolutely amazing film. Just everybody in there was just unbelievable. So yeah, sorry for any angle change there. I finished filming completely and realized that I forgot to mention the Christopher Reeve thing before I ended the review, so I wanted to cut this in real fast before I do my normal sign off, of course. And that is, if you pay real close attention to the point when they're in the Fortress of Solitude and Kal-El is talking to Jor-El for the first time, and Jor-El's going through Krypton's history, you can see Christopher Reeve's face. It's very quick. It's like 5 seconds, and you have to really be intensely paying attention, like us film buffs would do, like those of us who watch film reviewers will do, because we never take our eyes off the screen. But yeah, Christopher Reeve is in Man of Steel. So if you have an opportunity to see the film again, you didn't catch that, look for it, because he's there. 5 stars from me, without question. Don't forget to check out the official sponsors of the program and channel. Completely forgot to mention them in the mock room package opening, so sorry, boss man. But yeah, Handi Enterprises Inc. Contact information down below in the description box. If you have not helped them out social media wise, please do so, because it helps me out directly. And this is reality according to the Razman, and Razman style is not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.